What is up, guys? It's your boy BTD here, back with another video, and today we have some Dread Balloon Cave. So our first opponent here is NDLIU. I have no idea how to pronounce that name, but he's a pretty good player. I played against him earlier, and you guys are about to see that clip soon. But yeah, it was a pretty bad game for me, to say the least. Yeah, he drained me pretty well, and he's not a bad opponent. His med count makes him look like he's a pretty bad opponent, but he's honestly not a bad opponent at all. And yeah, that was our first game against him, but I did that was going DFA, and I'm not good at DFA, to be honest. But as you can see, fail, terrible, ace might run. He drained me pretty hard. So this is our second time going around, and I'm going probably one of my favorite strategies in the game: tack, farm, factory. I promise you guys, this strategy is literally goated, and as long as you play it correctly, then you will pretty much be great. The factory is really goated now, and honestly it's pretty good. And honestly, the tack just helps clean up the ceramics. So if you guys are new here, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps grow my channel. And if you want to see weekly slash pretty frequent uploads of BTD Battles content or streams, then be sure to, yeah, you know what to do. Anyways, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick channel update before I start calming these games. This is obviously like a post-com, by the way, in case you can't tell, but I'm going to be uploading like once or twice a week. Yeah, I know it sucks. I really didn't want to have to do this, but I have to focus on school at the moment, and I don't have time to play BTD and get the content out for you guys like I used to. But I will be able to stream most of the time on the weekend, as long as, you know, I'm not doing something. For example, this weekend I was watching the football playoffs, the NFL playoffs, with my family, and that was a good time instead of playing BTD the whole weekend, I guess. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Anyways, let me get back to the game here. So I'm going pretty eco heavy here because I know I can force a blade shooter, and I'm fine triple spiking the back here, even though I don't do it here, because I know we have this factory obviously, and we're vibing. So he forced a blade shooter up on his side, and he forces a blade shooter up on our side. Very well played by our guy here. I'm not gonna try to say his name. I think it's ND Liu, maybe. I don't know. I'm Asian, in case you didn't know. So LIU. I don't know. I think that's Liu. I'm not sure though. Don't hate me in the comment section down below. Anyway, so what we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna go for our farm. He gets the early farm lead here. Well done to him. But at 42 seconds, we'll be able to afford our plantation. And yeah. So blacks do not do anything against tack on this map. Do not send blacks. I think I send him blacks. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. Boosted blocks, however, do something. As you can see, he'll be perfectly fine against these. His tack spot's pretty good, and I like my tack spot too, because it's a bit of an anti-stall tack spot. And the only weakness with this strategy right here is honestly cobra. Cobra really is annoying against this strategy. Spike mines can only last for so long, and playing spike storms, using spike storms will only drain yourself in game, of course. And we're going to be setting blocks here to mix with the round 7 AI, trying to see if we can force any defense, because the round 7 AI is usually a good time to blend blocks in, because if the tower doesn't have a lot of pierce, then it's going to be really good. As you can see here, he's leaking some lives, which is good for us, but he go ahead and greed for his plantation, and I'm about to do the same. So if he sends us round 8 yellows, I'm pretty much going to have to boost, and then on round 9, I'm going to have to get up a blaze shooter. So that's what he should have done, but he probably doesn't have that much money. So he's going to go ahead and greed for another farm. So with this strategy, you want to go aggressive, so which means factory route, high eco, and because BIA is not going to do you any justice, because mid-game round, you're going to need to spike storm, a BFB, and maelstrom. And yeah, it really takes a lot to defend mid-game, so you're going to want that factory for sure. So I'm sending him yellows here, and we managed to force a second blaze shooter, which is really good for us. And I placed down my spike factory. Obviously, I could go for a ring of fire here, but I think it's just more cost efficient to go for a factory, because I'm going to need it for round 12 anyways, so why not just get it up now? And so we have almost enough for another plantation, so that's what I'm going to pretty much greed for. I know on round 12 he's going to have to buy a dragon's breath, and we can pretty much kill him easily if he sells his tack shooters. So let's say he sells his tack shooters, right, boys? If he doesn't have the lighting here, I don't know if I did it in this game, but I did it for sure coming up in the rest of this video. A really OP rush that will force him to boost, and once they boost, if they survive it, just all out camo rainbows. As you can see here, it's pushing pretty far on his side, but the dragon's breath is fine. So this is the rush I'm talking about. I'm sending him zebras with whites and pinks over top. A dragon's breath cannot solo that. He's gonna have to maelstrom, and he unfortunately doesn't do that, and he boosts, and he still doesn't survive. So that's a dub for the boys. And yeah, that's pretty easy game 1, but we did get drained against him, so that's a 1-1 even score tie, and that was a good game for him. So basically, when he boosted, right, boys, basically I could have just camo all out of him, and he had no chance of defending. So he was dead either way. But what would have been the smart play, as most of you guys can probably tell, would just be to maelstrom that rush. But it is kind of draining to him, and for us, it only increases our eco. So why not do that rush? And I'm gonna cut the video right here just to get to our next opponent, because it does take me a while to find our next opponent. So we got our next opponent here, Shay. I don't even know. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. I'm just gonna call him Skay. I don't know. Skyler. So Skyler, I think that's how you pronounce it, maybe. But it has a weird spelling that throws me off. And I'm just gonna buy a couple farmers here, a bit short on farmers, and we have the luxury of affording it. And we're going Tack Farms Factory once again. This is gonna be like a guide on how to use it in Dread Balloon Cave, or like some sort of clickbaity title or something like that. If you're still watching the video, comment down below cookies. I said that in my last video, but no one commented down below cookies in my 40-minute video. So maybe this will help if it's in the middle of a video. I don't know how long you guys watch my videos for, but if you're watching the whole way through, or if you're watching until this point, comment down below cookies. So we're going to go ahead and be aggro here as usual, trying to force up any sort of defense that we can. And I know he's going to have to upgrade to at least the faster shooting, and I'm happy that he's going tack and not cobra, because like I said, Cobra is nearly impossible to defend with Tack's Factory, because obviously the Tack shooter cannot hit camos, and this Factory is just really good overall. So we're just gonna I'm sorry, what am I talking about? And this Factory can only last for so long with the spiked mines. And yes, spiked mines really got a big buff, but it really just can't compete anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and go for our more bananas here, and I'm gonna go ahead and send him some pinks actually. Like I said earlier, we gotta force the blade shooter, right? And most people just send a small amount of pinks, but I know that he's gonna have to get rid anyways. And yeah, he sent me a small amount of pinks, and that's why I was able to continue to send him a bit more and try not to go for my blade shooter as much as I can, but he's continuously sending, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for mine too. And as you can see, I'm sending him like one set, seeing if he's gonna upgrade, and then I'm gonna stop, which is a pretty good strategy. And he was still sending pinks at that time, which is not a good move. And if you're still watching this video, I could not live calm this. I wish I could, because I was taking a dump. But anyways, we're gonna go to 42 seconds. We're going to upgrade to our plantation. Like I said earlier, blacks do not do anything unless you boost them. So if you're gonna go ahead and send blacks, go ahead and balloon boost them. It's really gonna help you. And he's gonna go ahead and balloon boost blacks at me, so I know that I'm gonna need a second tack shooter down. And I'm sending him regular blacks here, like a dummy, and I have no idea why I did that, but I know I'm trying to bloon with the round 7 AI. As you guys saw earlier, it was pretty effective against attack, and especially against anti-stall attack. Once it reaches the back of the map, there's no way it can hit it, but this tack spot's good because it hits twice on the track. It hits the first loop and it hits the second loop, so that's why I prefer this tack spot, honestly. And yeah, we have 303 eco, not a bad eco. We're not playing this super eco heavy or anything like that, because I also need farms to sustain me, like early ZMGs and things like that. So he's gonna go ahead and send me a small amount of yellows here, and I don't upgrade to the faster shooting because I know we're just going to sell this eventually, and we're going to leak a few lives here, but the tack shooter pretty much solos that. We can sell that and go ahead and go for our plantation. If he wants to send us round 9 yellows, I'm going to just boost to it, because I also need to get up his factory later. So I'm setting him all this, and he go ahead and boost. He sends me this rush, and I just boost immediately because I know that he's going to send a decent amount, and I know that there's no way where we would have been able to afford a second blade shooter without boosting. So without selling a farm, excuse me. So we're just gonna have to boost it anyway. So we sent him a lead here. He's face palming me for whatever reason. I have no idea why he's face palming me. Maybe he's face palming himself, I don't know. So he's gonna go ahead and do this little zebra rush at me with whites followed behind. Pretty standard rush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and maelstrom it. Even though it drains me a lot, I know that I need to maelstrom pretty much to defend. If not, we would have been dead there. So he's gonna send us this camel white rush, which is kind of an effective rush. It's a really expensive rush, but I can just sell for us spike ball mines and revive. And spike balls is literally insane, as you can see, but our spike pile is a bit slow, so I'm gonna go ahead and boost just to get me more spikes in the back. If he all outs here, this is gonna be a good play by us, because the spike pile in the back is going to be really big, so in game, of course. So that's what we're going to do to survive. And if you just all out with regular, then all we have to do is just maelstrom, as you guys can see. Anyways, we're sending him this small rush again with the camo zebras. He goes for the dragon jet, like I said before. Now we're going to send him the OP zebra rush, so we're going to send him regular zebras with whites over top. Most people know how to maelstrom this, but against the opponents like this, they struggle against it. So as you can see, he's going to die here. Obviously, he boosts, and it's not enough, and he does manage to go down to that rush. I have no idea why people just don't maelstrom it. Maybe they don't want to sell a farm or something like that, but that was a pretty easy game, honestly. And easy way to grind keys, easy ways to get meds, and I have no idea what he was doing. But I'll catch you guys when we got our next opponent. Alright, so we are back, and we got our next opponent here, STFU, or shut the blank up. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what that means. So he has 9,000 meds. I think he's in power or something like that. Not sure. Is that the top clan right now? I don't know. I barely play this game anymore, so well, I do play it, I guess. But my point is that I'm not on it 24/7 to keep up with all the good clans and stuff like that. I'm put grinding behind me, and yeah, just gonna play for fun, play for you guys, play for content and things like that. Anyways, so we're gonna go attack here, Tack's factory, which is what this video is all about. And I'm gonna go ahead and anti-stall, because anti-stall tack throws off whatever strategy that they're going. Because example, you're going dart, and maybe you only know one opening with dart. If you anti-stall, then it's throws them off. They don't know what to do. And we both go tack. He has the nice tack skin. I mean, it's an alright skin, to be honest. I wouldn't spend whatever $3 on it. I mean, it's only $3, and I don't use tack that much except for dread, like this strategy, because it's so freaking solid and it's really good in my opinion. And if you guys didn't see, Josh had a new video, and he said this is his favorite strategy, and I agree. It's probably one of my favorite strategies, and I love to run it on maps that I can. And he's working part-time for NK, so hopefully we can get him to do, you know, like a Battles 2 or something like that. Give us some balance changes, because he's been a Battles player before. He knows what he wants. He knows what to do in the game and things like that, what we want as players. So I'm going to go ahead and send him some pinks here. I didn't realize that. I was like, why can't I afford a blade shooter? Well, I realized that because I didn't buy my more bananas. But we're going to go ahead and keep sending pinks here. And we force a blade shooter, and it doesn't look like he's going to force a blade shooter here, which is a very interesting play. Maybe he thought that I was going to buy it by myself on run 4, but I'm not going to buy it unless you send it to me, obviously. So right as I'm about to get my plantation soon-ish, he's going to send me some. So I'm going to go ahead and get my blade shooter too, because he's sending a decent amount, but he timed that perfectly. He did what I did earlier in the video, where you kind of send like one set waited, one set waited, one set waited, and that was a pretty good strategy. So we're going to be able to afford our plantation here on the 38, I think that was. And remember, blocks do not do anything against unless you balloon boost them. So I'm going to go ahead and balloon boost them. And as you can see, it forces an attack shooter immediately. And it looks like he's going to leak a little bit on my screen, but he's probably end up going to be fine. But yeah, he's leaking a little bit, but honestly not the worst of plays, and it gets us a little bit of eco, even though it was spaced eco. And honestly, with this strategy, you probably just want to drain them. You're going to be playing aggro. So, like, think about this strategy as, like, an NG strategy. Except bloon trap is bloon trap, obviously. But you're going to be using, you're going to be playing this aggressive and, like, with mixing in eco rushes and sending them early ZMGs and things like that. So, yeah, that's what you're going to do on this strategy. And honestly, I'd say it works most of the time. There's not been, like, at least so far in this dread, there hasn't been one time that I've, like, you know, haven't been... How would I explain this? There hasn't been one time where it hasn't been a solid play, right? Like Tax Factory losing with it. It's pretty good overall. And if I didn't run Tax Factory, I'd probably honestly run Dartling Bomb, maybe some DFA. But you saw from that first clip, DFA did not work too well. And I stopped sending him yellows because... I didn't really need to. And he got up his mortar anyways to clean up. So he still leaked a fat amount, and... he gets up his border, and I don't know why I still send him leads, but he buys the Bernie stuff, which is good for us. Usually, honestly, you would not need a Bernie stuff, but since he's going to go ahead and upgrade, I'm not objecting to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy the even faster production. I would say a 2-2 factory can hold you off for a decent amount against camos, but if you're like that other guy who is setting camo whites, you're definitely going to need a spike ball for that. Do not try to solo it. Don't overestimate the factory. It is good, but it's not like broken good, is my point. So what we're going to do here is going to go for our plantation. Since this has been a little bit more of a passive game, then yeah, we have to go for a plantation. There's also nothing much we can do here against a tack mortar. Only thing we can do is drain them with space ceramics, but that doesn't come until round 15. So if he gets his BIA, I'm pretty sure he wins. But so he's gonna go ahead and send me this zebra rush. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my ring of fire. I have no idea why I didn't maelstrom it, but I was thinking ring of fire at the time, so ring of fire it is. And we barely solo with our 2-2 Spectre, as you can see what I was talking about earlier. And that was a really expensive rush, to be honest, and all I had to do was sell defense. So, and regen leads, our ring of fire should solo, and I'm just going to send him a couple space ceramics to see what we can get out of him. I know it's definitely going to force a second blade shooter or something like that. So yeah, it definitely forces a second blade shooter, maybe another one. And I rebuy my ring of fire up here in case he wants to rush, because in my opinion, I don't think a ring of fire and a Spectre should go like right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and send him some leads here. Probably regen leads would have been the move, but I'm just sending him regular leads, seeing what I could force. And we forced a third blade shooter. This is definitely Pog moment. Regen leads would have forced a maelstrom, but that's really expensive. And yeah, on round 17, there's no need to send him a Moab. Absolutely no need. He has tack shooter, which pretty much one-shots the Moab. So honestly, there's no point in sending him a Moab. BFB will cause him a couple maelstroms, and if he's bad, he's gonna have to mortar stall, but honestly that pretty much should be no problem for him. So no point in setting anything else against him. 3 blade shooters is enough to solo the ceramics, and regen leads would just force a maelstrom, which is good for us. But I need to get ahead in farms, so I know on round 20 I'm gonna be forced to send some stuff. So I try to blend the regen leads with this AI right here, but it doesn't work. He's sending camo ceramics underneath the Moab, which does absolutely nothing. Bit choked my micro here, but it's all right. The spike bomb, the spiked mines cleans up easily, and we pretty much have nothing else to worry about here. I know round 20 is going to send me a BFB. All you need is 1 spike storm and a blade maelstrom to easily solo. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ring of fire up here for the leads, since he's blending leads. So I'm trying to wait until my ring of fire pops all the leads before I maelstrom. I think someone told me that the tack shooter has infinite pierce, but I just wanted to make sure. So 1 maelstrom, double maelstrom, and we easily solo. And I want to catch those leads so the spike factory doesn't have to clean them up, and we managed to be fine. I know around 20 he's going to send me a BFB. Here on cue, here it comes. So as you can see, there's leads underneath again, so this is going to be a more difficult defend than usual. So our spike ball mines are in the back, thank goodness. We spike storm once with everything right on top of it. We get our we get our spike ball mines in the back. We maelstrom once, and we easily solo that rush. And with the pinks, we should pretty much be fine. The spike balls are pretty OP, and you want to save your ceramics for rushes like that. And it looks pretty bad, so I'm just gonna go ahead and boost on my side. As you can see, we leaked down to 17 lives, so I probably would have been dead if I didn't boost. And yeah, when I boost, it pretty much tells him don't rush me, so I pretty much have a little safe area. So right now I'm thinking maybe sending him an early ZOMG, but he decides to sell all his farms and all outs me, which is really dumb. Why would you all out tack, first of all? Anyways, so all we have to do is just get 1 spike storm, and then when it pops all into ceramics, we just need 1 maelstrom to solo. And just like that, we easily win. Maybe he had to go or something like that, but that was a pretty dumb rush on my part. I mean, on his part. And then I have plenty of money here, so I can just maelstrom these ceramics. He has enough money to defend the maelstrom. He has enough money to defend the ceramics, so we can't really do anything against him. We force another boost on his side, and I'm just going to wait until he kills himself, because he's pretty much just going to die to AI. Round 24 ceramics are next, so I'm just sending him a couple space ceramics. He's hanging on for dear life with another maelstrom, but he doesn't have any camo detection, and I have $7,000, so he has no hope right here, and he's pretty much dead. So that's how you win. I have no idea why he all outed again, but I'm assuming it's because he had to go or something like that. Anyways, GG's to Mr. STFU. And yeah, that's pretty pog and pretty easy win, since he all outed against tack for whatever reason. And look at that, 46 seconds left. And I'll catch you guys when we find our next/last opponent. Alright, so we got our last opponent here, YT Zach W. And he's a pretty good player. Or actually his record's okay and his badges are definitely not the best, but I'm still going to use Tack Farms Factory no matter what. He's a top 100 global player, which is what he was grinding for. I checked out his YouTube channel, and congrats to you on your first top 100, and nice profile and everything like that. I still don't understand how you got the fire profile skin if you didn't have a top 100. Maybe you amped or something like that. Anyways, he did comment on my video saying that I should DC him for top 100, and I did not see that until the end of the video, so that's why he probably didn't ready up until he did. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna play how we usually play. Tax Factory's literally goated, and it's probably one of my favorite strats, if not my favorite strat. I think that and Dartling Bomb are probably tied. So I forgot to anti-stall here, but he places down his tack 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and place down my tack 2, and he doesn't place down any farmers, which means that he's ecoing with tack, which is not a bad move. So I'm trying to guess what he's going, and I really don't know. So I still think that he's going farm at this point, but as you can see, he doesn't place down a farmer, doesn't place down a farm or anything. So it looks like he is not going farm, and he's going to be going eco because he upgrades to the blade shooter before I send him pinks, which means he's going eco. So I'm thinking tack village ninja, tack sniper mortar, something like that along the lines. Tack village glue, because I really have no idea what he's going, and it's kind of weird to see eco in Dread's a pretty long map, so I guess it's not really like insanely dumb, but it is interesting to see. You see a lot of farm with tack, things like that, because that's what most people are comfortable with, right? They're not comfortable with like eco strategies or strategies like this. Anyways, so we can't really send him anything as he is a blade shooter. Can't tell if he has faster shooting on it or not. He might have the $210 upgrade, but not the $300 upgrade, which is what I'm guessing. So my plan here, against any eco, if you're playing against eco players, what you want to do, farm hard, early ZOMG, early BFB, all those things, and it's pretty much going to drain eco, because if they're full sending eco, there's no way they can defend, and if they counter, that's what you got your farms for. So you have to farm pretty hard against eco, not gonna lie. And late game, Spike Factory is pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and balloon boost blacks here, just like I did earlier, and he places down a 0-0 ninja. So this proves my strategy of maybe going tack village ninja here, and it's not a bad strat, but it does get drained early. So right here, I'm like, all right, my plan here is to farm really hard and then send him massive early space CMGs and things like that. And if he wants to counter, that's okay with me. Spike Storm, everything, and just Maelstrom the ceramics. Also, you could use Spiked Mines. Spiked Mines act like a big one now, of course, in-game. But Spiked Mines used to be trash. It used to be a meme. And now it's probably one of the best upgrades. Even though it's a bit pricey, it's probably like one of the best upgrades, not gonna lie, in the game. I haven't done the exact math, but a big one versus a Spiked Mines, you're obviously going to want the big one, but as an alternative, Spiked Mines is still pretty good. So, like, this is basically like a ripoff of Tack Mortar, but there's no stall, which is what makes Mortar really good. And he places down a Mortar himself, speaking of Mortars, and that proves his strategy. There's no fourths in this, so there's nothing he couldn't be, like, you know, using this fourth, have ace fourth, something like that. BS, NK not giving us tier 0, no fourths, or tournaments at least, and outside of BFB Colosseum, it's really lame, honestly. But anyways, he's sending us a lead here, and I didn't realize that we had to go for lead detection, but that's okay. We can sell the second blade shooter at the bottom down for a Spike Factory. He's gonna go ahead and send us this rush here. Like I did earlier, I'm just going to buy a Ring of Fire, and a Ring of Fire pretty much solos this, and why I did that is because he sent us a crap ton of whites behind it, and a Ring of Fire pretty much solos eco really well, and with the Spike Factory cleaning up, obviously. So I rebuild my Ring of Fire up top because I don't want it, like, I don't want it up there, and I'm just going to go ahead and all out him here with Camo Regen Zebras, because I know that he ecoed pretty hard on that rush. And this was just a big choke, honestly. He has a signal flare up. All he has to do is just sell for Maelstrom. I have no idea what he's doing, and it looks like he survived for like the longest time. But I did end up selling everything, and it looks like he's fine right here. And I thought maybe, what, is he DC glitching me or something like that? I'm leaking down all these lives, but then I boost to nothing, obviously as a meme, and he does go down. I have no idea what that was. Mortar Ninja Tack does not have any like lag to it, so I have no idea what that was, but he pretty much choked that, not gonna lie. and all he had to do was maelstrom, so I have no idea what he was doing. I tried to rematch him because I wanted to play, because that's the last game of the day, and GC, as you can see, Dread wasn't out anyways, and we end on a 4-win streak. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.